Hi everyone, my name is Serena. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about my TBR for October. I don't usually do TBRs, but I'm doing one this month because I'm participating in Gothtober. So I did this last year and I had so much fun. It's going to be a 10 book TBR and there are prompts, so I'm going to show you them right now. Before I do that, I want to say that this readathon is hosted by Olivia Savannah from Olivia's Catastrophe, Hannah from Ladette M, and Tish from the channel Latish Ag. I will link their channels down below and let's get right into it. The theme of this year's Gothtober is prophetic galaxies. So it's very sci-fi themed, I feel, this year. I didn't screen record me playing the game, but I will put a screenshot of my prompts on the screen. For my first prompt, I have to read a book based off my zodiac sign. So I am a Cancer sun. So when I think, this was a hard prompt, but when I think of Cancers, I obviously think about emotions. So I started thinking about maybe a gothic book that is more on the emotional side. So I did a little bit of research and I saw this page with all books. I think they were all gothic books, but there were books recommended to zodiac signs. So I was looking through this page and I saw that they recommended Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier to Scorpios. So as I said, I'm a Cancer sun, but I'm a Scorpio moon. And between this whole list, I just really want to read Rebecca. So I'm gonna go with that. I mean, I feel like Cancers and Scorpios are both water signs, so there's emotion in it too. In fact, it said, due to its emotional intensity and preference for a mysterious atmosphere, Scorpio cannot avoid reading this famous novel. The captivating plot infused with secrets, intrigues, and passion will capture the mind of this sign, offering an engaging and emotionally rich read. I think it's a classic. It's like a modern classic that inspired so many books. It's about this girl who all of a sudden gets this marriage proposal from this wealthy man, widower, and she was flabbergasted and accepts. But when she moves into this big house, she senses the evil presence. I'm assuming it's evil, but she senses the presence of the ex, or the wife that died. My second prompt is read a book with green on the cover, and for this one I'm going to read The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So I own this book and I feel like it's kind of gothic-y because it is set in an older house filled with riddles and games. So I don't know, I feel like that's kind of gothic-y. But it is a young adult about this teenager who all of a sudden inherits a lot of money and a house, but in order to get these things she has to move into the house, and already living in this house are the old man that died, grandsons. So there is conflict there because the grandsons, the other family members, think that she's like a con woman, that she's trying to steal the money, and other people think that maybe this is the last game that grandpa left them. So it seems fun. It's a series and it has green on the cover. It's a green cover. Third prompt is read a gothic classic or inspired by a gothic classic, and for this one I'm going to read The Picture of Dorian Gray. So this is another classic book that I have not read yet. I did study it in school and I've always been intrigued by this story. It's about this man who basically sells his soul to remain youthful, but there's this portrait of him that grows old instead. He stays young, but the portrait is visibly aging. So this sounds very interesting, and it seems like a short classic, and I know I'm always intimidated by classics, but it's time. Fourth prompt is read a book with ancestry as a key theme. For this one, I'm going to read Beloved by Toni Morrison. I have never read a Toni Morrison book, and I've always wanted to. This book in particular, I've heard, is very, very heavy, very sad. It's about this woman who was born a slave and then escapes, but now is haunted by the ghost of her baby that died. So sounds like a very powerful and heavy read. So I'm gonna read, oh, it says it's a trilogy? I didn't know that. The next prompt is Humans Are Delicious. For this one, I'm going to read Tender is the Flesh by Agustina Basterica. So this is an Argentinian author, so it's a translated work, and it sounds very gruesome. I'm pretty sure this is set in a future where animal meat is poisonous to humans. So humans start eating other humans. It becomes more acceptable and legal. So it sounds very gruesome, but it's perfect for the prompt, I guess. Next prompt is read a book that defies genre. For this one, I don't know. I think this prompt means that the book can be classified or categorized in different genres. So for this one, I'm just going to read a book that I've had on hold on Libby for a while, and I keep postponing it, so it's time. I'm going to read The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo, and the cover looks very gothic-y. I think this is like a fantasy historical fiction, and it's set in Spain, and it's about this girl who has some kind of power, and she tries to keep it hidden, but the family for whom she works for finds it out, and at first she uses her powers for the family, but then slowly people start discovering her powers, and this man, Antonio Perez, he is the secretary to Spain's king. He wants her to help them win a war against England. Next prompt is Dark Desires, and for this one I'm assuming we are reading a romance. I thought about reading Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This book has werewolves, it has vampires, and it's spicy apparently, and there's some weird things going on, you know, with the alpha male. I don't know. It's basically about this vampire girl who, to keep the peace with the werewolves, I guess, there's some kind of arranged marriage, but she is doing it for other reasons. There's like other reasons why she's doing that. This is going to be my first Ali Hazelwood. The next three prompts are LGBTQ plus rep, BIPOC rep, and disability representation. LGBT plus rep, I'm going to go with a very old book on my shelves that I need to read. It's The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black, and I looked on Google and I searched, does this book have LGBTQ plus characters, and what popped up is that one of the characters in here is bisexual and another one is a trans woman. And this is a book, I honestly don't know what this is about, but this apparently it has vampires in it too, I've heard. But it's about these coal towns. These are towns where monsters live or creatures live, I'm not sure. But if you go into one of these coal towns, you cannot leave. So I'm assuming someone gets trapped in one of these coal towns. For BIPOC rep, I am going to read the second book in the Binti trilogy, Home. I'm not going to talk about the second one because it's a sequel, but the first one, it's an Afrofuturist book, and it's about this girl, Binti, who is on a journey to go to university. It's obviously set in the future, so she's going on this journey through the galaxy, but she's basically the first person in her family and even in her culture to really go to this university, this prestigious university, and people are like really noticing that. There's like racism because like the culture from where Binti is from is very different from the people who usually go to this university, and a lot of things happen on this journey. She encounters this alien race called Meduse, and then last prompt is the disability representation, and I'm going to read The Deep by River Solomon. I know that River Solomon has, I think, ADHD, and I'm pretty sure that the main character in this book, Yetu, has autism. So yeah, this is again a short book that I've been wanting to read for a long time. It sounds very, very interesting. It's about these creatures, these mermaid-like creatures who were born from women who slaved women from Africa that drowned in the ocean on their way to America. So these water descendants are now living in the ocean, and one of them, Yetu, holds all of the memories of all the ancestors. And it sounds like a very heavy read again, but it's very short. It's 166 pages according to Goodreads, so I want to read it. But yeah, that's my 10 book TBR for October. I do plan on reading other things if I can. I feel like all of these books are a bit gothic-y, but yeah. Let me know what you're reading in October, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!